All right, everyone, we are live here this Monday night. It's live in the DM and Friends, and I have the owner, operator,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Michael Saxton from Thunderstruck Workshop, who I um, didn't meet at Page, but we'll talk about that a little bit. But yeah, I'm so glad to have you on, man. And thanks for coming on. And
Well, thanks for having me.
we're gonna talk about some stuff, pertaining to anything. So thanks for coming on, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate it.
And
So,
I was gonna say, I think that we have you're also broadcasting on your channel too. So those of you guys will all your comments will be funneled in here, and we'll both respond and ask questions. And I'm sure we're gonna have a show and tell session.
yeah,
And
great.
we're going to talk about printing and terrain and buildings and your
Yeah.
company a little bit. And
I don't know if you'll get any comments from my channel because my channel is absolutely 100% brand new. This will be the first video going to it. So,
okay. Well, you never know.
Yeah,
But,
I didn't even promote it yet. I linked it up today and it's all set to stream. So
it's a good start. Yeah. So you guys go on his channel and subscribe. I'm sure he's going to start. You're going to start doing some type of show and tell stuff on there. And yeah, we'll love to see. I'll be one of your first subs if you don't mind.
excellent.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for coming on. So tell, before I get into, we'll get straight into you.
Okay.
I have a couple little QR codes I want to bring up because I've been asked to kind of talk about some of these upcoming Kickstarters, but we'll put that off a little later. I want to get right into Thunderstruck Workshop and what you got going on. I came across you in Page.
Right.
You just told me the story about when I came up and kind of did wow, check all this stuff out. You were helping Jay Scott load his vehicle, and I just missed you, but I got the chance to talk with your wife, and she showed me around, and we kind of did all that. But yes, that was we missed each other by seconds.
Yeah.
So
yeah. No, we've been at Page since the first year. We'll be there again next year. We've had a really good time with it. It's pretty much my wife and I. We started off. I've been 3D printing for probably 10 years or more.
Yeah.
And I grew up just playing around with electronics. I mean, you look up later on. I'm going to show you some of this terrain, and I've got 80s arcade machines sitting here that I used to collect and restore, and I've got a whole collection of them all throughout the house in different rooms because they take up so much space. And it was just kind of a natural progression. I've been gaming since probably 86.
Okay.
And I never used terrain or minis. And then right around 2000 or so, when I started working for the New York State and I started my career, I got out of gaming for a long time. It wasn't probably about 2014 I came back, and some old friends invited me to their group, and we were playing first edition, and I got in, and they were using minis with a battle mat. And at that point I started buying WizKids minis. They were fairly cheap to buy a whole case at the time. They're not anymore, but they used to be cheap. So I bought a lot of that and I got into it. But as the price went up, I was getting a little disheartened about the quality of the paints and what. So I said, well, I'm going to get into 3D printing. And I started printing dungeon tiles, and then I'd get a resin printer and make minis and just keep going from there. And then it's just expanded. I don't really do resin minis for my business for the most part. I stick with terrain. And I really learned after the second year of Page that painted terrain ready to put on your table is a market that's, there's not many people doing it.
Yeah.
You can buy lots of 3D printed stuff, but to get it painted and ready to go, there's not many people. So it's really done us well. We've really enjoyed it.
Let me say something about that, because as soon as I had pulled up to your booth, it was so funny, and I saw a lot of stuff that were painted, and you had the price for unpainted versus painted, and I was like, the price difference here is so worth it because
Yeah.
the time and the amount of time and effort to, I mean, like I enjoy painting, but it's like, God, you know, the
Right.
quality was awesome. And then it was also like, wow, for $20 more, this fabulous painted piece.
Yep.
The price
I
point was
think
awesome.
I think I'm pretty fair with the pricing. Most people will ask me, and usually what you'll find is about double whatever unpainted is.
Yeah.
But my unpainted price, I run it through the slicer. I get the exact cost for it, and then there's just a slight markup to make a profit, and that's it. You know, so
Yeah.
the unpainted stuff is phenomenal value, but
Yeah.
then when you just double that for the painting time, you can't find anything similar at that
No.
price point. So
No way.
I mean, I've
No
even
way.
looked at like Warlock tiles and WizKids stuff, and they've got some nice stuff out there. They've also got some stuff that's really subpar on the paint quality, but they price it accordingly. But their really high end stuff is very expensive. You know, and I never saw myself as competition with Dwarven Forge. They're at a different level. They have a loyal fan base that's willing to fork out big bucks for that stuff.
Yeah.
I see myself as an alternative for the people that, you know, don't want to spend that kind of money.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. You know, I was blown away by that. So in particular, what I saw that was, you know, the main layout that you guys had in the front, which man, I wish maybe I can bring up a picture of it. But that castle, that modular castle that you had, and then the hay and just, you know, just all the little details inside were just so fabulous.
Yeah, there's that castle. There are so many pieces to it. I only brought a very small selection because you see how big it can get.
Yeah.
I mean, I could fill a 20 by 20 table with an entire castle that would look amazing, but you know, it's not realistic to bring to a convention.
Yeah.
And when I bring those pieces, a lot of times they're to draw people in. You know, if somebody wants to buy it, it's there and ready to go. But you know, the last 2 years in Page, I brought a big piece like that, and they both came home with me. And then I get lots of interest afterwards and people buying parts and whatnot. But yeah, I kind of bring them as a showcase piece to draw people in and say, this is, you know, what we can do.
Yeah.
You know, just to give you an idea, you mentioned the castle.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Like this right there is the King's Keep.
Yep.
And it's an add-on to that castle. I mean,
let me make the screen a little bigger because instead of seeing my face, let's look at your. Yeah, look at that, guys.
You see, like even these walls come off where these can attach to the walls. You have, you know, these pieces here, which would be another entrance to the castle.
Yeah.
But you can see there's ruined varieties of everything.
Yeah.
Any single piece that you buy, there's a ruined variation of it, which is really cool.
Yeah. You know, the other piece I thought was really interesting was that mine that you had, the mine entrance.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. The nice thing about that little mine entrance, that's for Black Scroll Games. And the cool piece is you've got the train tracks that go into the mine. Well, you can pull the regular train tracks out and put in an insert. It's a train track with a collapsed, you know, stone rubble. So you can turn it into a collapsed mine. So it's pretty cool. I started focusing a lot more on scatter terrain, pieces that you can just, you know, grab, throw on your table. You don't need a whole dungeon setup. You don't have to cover your whole table with dungeon tiles. You know, you could just little pieces that it's a lot more affordable for people, and it's a lot easier to set up.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever used big terrain setups. They're time consuming. I would spend hours and hours, maybe 5, 6, 7 hours the week before the game setting up my table. I don't do it as often as I used to because it's so time consuming. So now I focus on smaller pieces.
You know, it's funny for myself. I've just really started getting into for my D&D game. I run a game every Wednesday, and it's an online game. And I hate digital stuff. I hate bringing up a map, fog of war, and all that. To me, I lose a lot there.
Yep.
So on my table back here, I've been setting up terrain and stuff and cameras and you know, people can move stuff around. And so I've gotten more into that, but to kind of double click on that a little bit more, I run a lot of Boot Hill, and Boot Hill is very terrain heavy for me. And I have a a very large city that I've made with probably 20 some odd buildings in various forms, but it's all MDF.
Yep.
And well, not all of it. Some of it is printed, and others are, most of it's MDF. But in that, because that's a miniatures based game, it's basically a war game.
Yep.
I use that for sure. But yeah, I really just started to get into, not at the level that you're using it, not at all. Yeah.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Boot Hill and terrain. I put some of this stuff out here, which I've never brought to Page, but
look at that!
And
that's
that's only a fraction. There's, I don't know if you could see it on the shelf over there. There's more pieces.
Let me see that gunsmith over there. Let me see that. Can you bring that? Oh man, I got to see this up close.
Yeah, let me grab it.
All right, we got a question from the audience too. I want to make sure that they get their time.
Sure. So yeah, here's the gunsmith, and it's fully playable. All the, they open up.
I love it.
You see there's a side door here that I actually didn't put a door on it because
you can easily put that on there though.
Well, there's actually like a side like shed building you can attach to it, which is what I had.
Makes sense.
I should probably just put a door on it so I can use it either way, but sometimes I don't stress the minor details sometimes.
Yeah. Well, if somebody wants to do that themselves, that's not a hard thing to do. I mean,
it's not.
Little drill bits and.
Well, it's already got the holes for it. They use. What they usually do is you print the door, and then the door has a channel running through it, and then top and bottom will have holes in it. And it'll feed up through the bottom or the top, one of the two. And you actually use filament. So it's big enough to run the filament down it. I do sometimes have to use a drill because a lot of these pieces, the tolerance on it might be too tight. You can't get it in there. So you got to drill it out a little bit. But yeah, they're all made they come with all the parts for it, the doors and whatnot. So I have somebody was asking me just recently about the general store. And they wanted it for their HO train set. So last night I printed one just to see how it would come out. And that's
over the other side over there.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, sorry about that.
And that'll this is the right side. That's scaled appropriately for HO scale. So next time I see
would that be for 28 or 32? So HO is 43rd second, right?
HO is 20 millimeter, I believe.
20 millimeter. Okay.
Well, yeah, I looked on printable scenery is my big license. A lot of the stuff I have is printable scenery, like the castle, and they actually have a guide on how to scale them. And their stuff runs between 28 and 32, and then to scale it down, I think it was 63% would give you HO scale.
Oh, got it. So there's an actual formula.
Yeah. So I just scaled it down and tried it, and I'm going to show it to him and let him see what he thinks because I think he wants the whole setup for his train set.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah. Because so my minis for my Old West stuff are so at cons. I like the 28 mil from back in the day. You know what I mean? I love that. So 28 mil is where, and a lot of the default for the MDF stuff and for probably for the stuff you print out is there. But I find in cons I have a set of should I grab them? No, they're in the other room. Of those of you guys that played my Boodle game, they're more almost like a 36. They're very heroic, very big.
Yeah.
The progression of minis
over
the years from when we first started playing. Hey George, how you doing? I really like that 28 millimeter scale. I think that's
I do. I do my minis at 28 millimeter. There's a few different companies I bought from that automatically scale them to 32, and I usually scale them back down to fit appropriately. I don't mind having an orc or something that might be a little bigger because you can always work that into the story. The guys, But if I'm going to do a whole army of them, I'm going to scale them down to 28. I do like the terrain ranging between 28 and 32. A little bigger on the terrain doesn't hurt anything. I mean, it takes up a little more space, but it's easier to fit minis within it.
Nice. Hey, go into the comments real quick, Mike. Mike or Michael, right?
Either's fine.
Okay, I'll call you Mike. It's easier for me.
Yep.
So go into the comments here. DM Leo, by the way, thanks for jumping on, brother. He says, "Oh, I see my Hobbit house there. I can't wait for it." You probably know who that is.
Yeah, Leo's my he is my best customer by far.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he buys from me at the cons. He buys from me all year long.
Let me bring this up. Hang on. Let me make this a little larger so everybody can see that. Yeah. Oh my God, dude.
He wanted this piece at Page when he saw it.
Yeah.
But Leo said, "Listen, I'll come back Sunday, and if it's still here, I'll take it. And if it's not, I'll just order it."
Yeah.
So it's funny because this sold at the con, and this is the second one I've made since I got home. And the only reason it's still sitting here is because Leo just got back from Spain.
From Spain, yeah. Welcome back, by the way, Leo. So we also got another. He says your stuff is awesome, brother. That's awesome. Yeah. Freezer said, "Are there rooms, or is it just exterior?" I know the answer to that, but if you want to talk,
it's definitely rooms. You can print. There's some models that you can print solid if you don't want the interior, which makes it easier because you don't have to paint the interior. But I print everything when I bring to conventions. I print everything with interiors, paint the interiors, because you never know who's going to want to use them that way. So a lot of these smaller buildings, I don't really use the interiors in my own game. I'll use them to set up a village, and a lot of times the scenes will take place outside of it. But yeah, they are usable. They do have interiors and they are painted. So yeah.
Yeah, I think he was specifically asking because that question came up when you were showing the castle, which I remember looking at it at Page. And
so yeah, this castle over here, each of the towers, every level of it comes out. It's open, it's playable. I printed that when it first came out, and they've redesigned it a little bit because one of the upper parts is supposed to sit on it and it kind of falls in. That's why I didn't bring it to Page, because it was a little wonky. They redesigned it after some feedback. So I need to reprint it and get that together and get it painted, and it's a process. But
when you paint, are you using spray, or are you doing it all by hand?
It's all by hand.
Wow.
I do have I have a good airbrush my wife bought me a few years back. And what ended up happening was I didn't have a spray booth. And, I'm like the typical guy. You go out standing in the garage. You don't wear a mask. You don't do it. So I'm sitting here spraying away, and I'm spraying a red dragon. And I get done with it. And at the time, my 3D printers, the old ones I had, were on the other side of the room, and they were all printing. And when I got done, I walked over there, and the whole print bed was red.
Yeah.
And the fans were all coated red. And we're talking 25 feet away. And I was like, I can't believe those paint particles drifted all the way over there and coated that. And then I'm thinking, well, what do my lungs look like sitting in front of it?
Yeah.
So it's been sitting here.
A mask or something.
Yeah. I just told my wife like 2 weeks ago, I said, that's a real short-term goal, is to get a spray booth set up so I can start using the airbrush. But yeah, I do everything by hand.
Yeah.
And I've got a huge mix of just junk craft paints. I've got tons of Army Painter stuff. I've got speed paints. I've got Citadel paints. Let me get you a link.
Hey, Ducato, thanks for joining. Howdy. Freezer's asking for the link to Thunderstruck Workshop.
Yeah, that's I'm getting one right now. I'm sitting on this laptop that used to be my daughter's, and I'm not logged into these things, so it's like I brought my phone because it's asking me for security codes, and what a pain.
So can I give him the Etsy site? Is that the one you want?
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay. Let me get that for you guys. Oh yeah, this is a great site too, man. The castle that's on there too. I think the one that
parts of it are. There's a little ruined tower on there, which was actually that ruined tower that you see was I've sold a couple of those. Leo bought that one, the painted one that you see there.
Yeah.
But Yeah, you got a whole lot of guys in here. You got George Hardy, known George a long time. Leo Ducato. I
Yep.
saw Troy Elman was in here in the beginning.
Yep.
Um,
So yeah, tell me a little bit of history behind. You talked a little bit, but so you kind of got into this. How long ago did Thunderstruck start? And you kind of
Thund-
going to cons and
so so I did 25 years working for New York State Department of Corrections.
Yep.
It's as miserable as it sounds.
Mm-hmm.
But it provided well. It gave me a good pension. And I decided I was like, I get my 25, I'm going to collect my pension, I'm getting out.
Nice.
49 years old, I retired. And I said, I am not going to work for somebody else again. I don't need to. My wife's still working. She works for Syracuse University. She's got a good job. So between us,
doing pretty good.
And we're making it work. Between this business and her job, we're cash
How long
flowing
you been married, man?
College. 22 years.
Wow. Congrats, man. Congrats on that.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. And I did meet your wife. She was the one that kind of gave me the tour and just the tour of the whole booth. And those of you guys, maybe I'll link it in the show notes to where I did one of my day 2 or day 3 of the con. I spent a lot of time at your booth just kind of going through stuff. And should definitely.
And my wife has really, really embraced it this year. In previous years, she's always come with me to the conventions and helped run the booth and everything. This year, I waited too long. So come Christmas time, I was working. I was literally putting in 15-hour days painting stuff every single day up till Paige. So she'd come home from work and she'd be like, what can I do? Well, she started painting, and it started off, just doing base coats. And then she's like, what else can I do? Okay, well, this needs to be dry brushed or this needs a wash. And she'd do that. And then next thing you know, she's just painting entire pieces by herself.
That's awesome.
And, it's been great that she got so involved with it. So
that's a great partnership, man. That's super, super awesome. We got, Freezer just said, wow, Orcus is only $25. That's pretty cheap. Do you have I remember that Orcus model that you had. Do you have that somewhere near? Painted or unpainted?
The Orcus miniature or the Orcus shrine?
In
fact, I have both. Let me grab them both.
Yeah, please do.
They're right here.
And then we got another question from Freezer when you come back.
Actually, here. Why don't you? Can you zoom it in on that shelf there?
Yeah, let's see if I can't zoom it in, but I can make this bigger for people to see. So yeah, there's the Orcus right there, the red guy.
Yeah, let me pull him down so you can see him better.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Sorry guys for all this back and forth, but yeah, he's got stuff to show, so we're gonna move the camera around a lot.
Yeah, Freezer just touched on something that is definitely something I gotta work on a little bit. So here's Orcus.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I remember seeing that there at the. Your wife was saying that ended up being kind of the mascot of your.
Yeah, we've had a bunch of them that have come with us. That's the one that's left, and it kind of comes with us.
One right there too. Yeah, that one's awesome too, man.
And these are LED lit, so both of these light up.
Yep. What's the battery source for the LED? So I'm an electronics nut too. It sounds like you.
So these are just printed. This is from Fat Dragon Games. So you just print the little holder. These are just these little.
It's a little battery.
Yeah, they take a CR32 battery.
CR32. So okay.
Or CR2032.
2032. Yeah, that's the small little kind of.
Yeah, and instead of buying battery. I tell everybody when they buy stuff, if you need more batteries later, don't go to your hardware store, Walmart, and buy them for $10 for 2 of them. I get on Amazon and I buy a box of 100 for $30.
Yeah, you can get it for $10.
You can get a smaller batch, but don't spend all that money because they're inexpensive batteries.
Yeah, if you go to Ace or something like that, you're gonna pay $5 battery.
So the Freezer had a question here, and I wanted to address that. He asked about the tribal towers. He is correct. So I have a formula that I use, but what happens is that formula does not always account for the time that goes into it. Like if I double it for painting time, but then I realize I just spent 8 hours painting it.
Yeah.
It leaves me in a spot. Do I raise the price accordingly, so I've been slowly adjusting prices over time. I know some of my things have actually come down since page one. A few things went up this year because obviously prices of everything went up.
Yeah.
The electricity is the killer this year. I mean, I don't know how it is out your way, but man, we are getting like hit with $700 to $1,000 bills this year, this winter, and it's like mostly delivery charge. It's not, it's unbelievable. They've got
I'm pretty
lawsuits
lucky.
going against the state.
I'm here in Montana, and my stuff's pretty stable, and it's funny because 24/7 I run some miners. If you know anything about crypto miners in the garage, and I have a pretty stable bill, which I'm pretty lucky that. But I've heard stories like that. Even my mom in California has said that. But wow, yeah, I mean, the machines probably use quite a bit of electricity.
They're actually not that bad. I think we figured it out. It was each one was the equivalent of maybe a 60-watt light bulb being left on.
Oh, okay.
So it's not. They're not horrible. I mean, obviously,
that's nothing, actually, yeah.
No, they're not.
Are your machines 220 or are they 110?
110.
Well, they are 110. Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm not running any of them tonight because they're not really loud. But sometimes on stream you could pick them up when there's 5 of them running at once. So I just left them off tonight.
So we got, let me see, there was another question in here too. Well, Freezer said, the Warhammer models are like $115 and that's unassembled and unpainted, that kind of.
What he's talking about there is a little misleading though. That tribal tower is much, much smaller compared to that big tower. Leo actually bought the big tower that I had.
Did he really?
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, he is just he's a big customer. He came to Central New York last year and took it home with him.
Yeah.
That's I don't know if you know anything about it. Central New York RPG Con last year was the first year of it. So we don't have any conventions in New York State really. And so Roger Rebus started Central New York RPG Con last year. It's in Utica, New York area.
Okay.
And he had, it was small, 202 people. You had Joe Block there, Greg Gillespie was there, Eric Tenkar was there. It was a great time. I mean, we had so much fun there. I did so well. I couldn't believe, wow. I tell people this story and they don't believe it. Like Ron and I were talking about it. I don't know if he believes me or not. And I told him, I said, I can't tell you why, but I think I made more money, more profit at that convention with 200 people than I've ever made at Page or any other convention I went to. A lot of that is because of the cost. I mean, I'm from New York, so I'm driving 4 hours to Philly, staying in a hotel for so many nights.
Sure. Yeah. Is it close to your house so where you could have just went home every night? Is that another?
The Central New York one is an hour away. And yes, I did go home this year.
This year saved you so much right there.
Well, I mean, so this year they're he added an extra night, so they're doing a Friday night with one game session, and then they're doing a meet and greet, and they're going to run Conan the Barbarian, and it's just going to for the evening people are going to hang out, and then all day Saturday and half the day Sunday. So I got a hotel this time. It cost me like I don't know $260 for 2 nights. Wow. For a king suite with a pull-out sofa bed. So my daughter comes with us a lot of times, and she'll be home from college. And, if my wife wants to come, there's plenty of room if anybody wants to stay, but we're only an hour away if they want to go home.
Yeah.
So I figured I'd throw the money at it this year and just stay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny because you talk about that being in New York. I mean, you're kind of, I'm envious of you guys because you guys that are on the East Coast, because you do have that kind of access to Philly, and there's a couple other stuff in Jersey, and around that area, and Montana we don't have any, so I got to go out and say everything. But yeah, I'm pretty envious of, I don't know if the word's envious, but I'm happy that you guys have all that stuff close by you.
Yeah, I wasn't going to do Concoction only because it's 2 weeks before Central New York this year, and of course. I have to support Central New York. It's local to me. I got to really support it and make sure it takes off. But I don't know if you know Pete Flagg. He's a volunteer at Page.
I actually met him in person the first time at Page.
Pete,
He's the first guy I met. Yeah.
Yeah. So Pete actually lives right here. He lives 20 minutes away from me. So he's in my Sunday night gaming group.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
And last night I just said to him, I said, are you going to Concoction? He said, yep. I said, are you volunteering? He said, no, I'm not volunteering. I'm going to play. I'm going to run a game of Shadow Dark. I'm going to go play. I'm just going to have a good time. And I'm like,
yeah.
So he was going to call and see if he could switch his room to a double instead of a single bed.
Oh, okay.
And if he switches, I might just ride down and not to vend, just to go play some games. And because I've never been to a convention outside of working.
Yeah.
I go to them and work, so I don't. And it's, people are like, wow, when you close up your booth, you can go play games. Man, when you're vending all day long, by the time you get done, all I want to do is go back to the hotel, take a shower, and then go down to the lobby, get a drink, talk with some people, enjoy it. And, so I don't really play games when I'm vending.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the downside of it because you're working. So,
right.
We got a bunch of comments in here and I see Chris join. Let me bring him in here too. Hey, Dimitri, how you doing, man? Strategicon was fun. Maybe I'll do a con report about it, but definitely missed you, dude. It wasn't like back in the days when we were running that con, not running it, but running amok there.
Yeah.
There was a couple other questions here from, let me see. So Freezer asked a lot of CNY chatter, which is super cool. Freezer saying, I see. Great Con Ducato saying that. I'm looking forward to CNY, George says. So, God, man, it sounds, I'm getting a little bit of FOMO. Maybe I need to go to that con. So Freezer did ask, so you print D&D stuff. Does it require permission or something? I have zero idea how the business aspects work. And then I think there's some other question after that, but I'll give you a chance to answer that.
So generally it depends. So most creators do require a licensing agreement to be able to sell their stuff.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
And Printable Scenery, I've backed them. They've been putting out Kickstarters for like 10 years. They do one like every year. It's got a theme to it. They're awesome stuff. But their license was so expensive that I never got into it until this year.
Yeah.
And I talked to the wife and I'm like, I have all of their stuff. Is it worth it? Let's try it and see. So I bought the license about a week before Central New York Con. I brought stuff there. And before the end of the weekend, I had paid off the entire year's license already.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
way to go, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Chris. How are you? I haven't.
You met at a show before, Mike.
Yeah, I think
you
you were at a page.
Yes.
I saw some pictures of there, and I was thinking, I'm like, I think we've met, but it's.
Well, his booth was right around the corner from the inner city booth. So he was.
Oh, okay.
Let me think. He was down the hall if you were looking out to the left and down the hall,
right next to Heidi and Eric. Yeah.
Okay. It's unfortunate I didn't get around as much as I'd like to.
Yeah.
Each year, especially the bigger it gets and the more vendors. The first year we were all in that one vendor hall, and I made my rounds, talk to everybody. But each year, as it gets bigger and bigger, and we get busier and busier, it gets harder to see everybody.
Well, you need more people, Mike. Yeah.
I know. It's the first year we brought my kids, and they ate up all the profit. They did. It's like, we bought 2 hotel rooms.
Right.
That's costly. This year we went down on Wednesday and came home on Monday. So because every year we've driven home in a snowstorm, and I didn't want to drive home Sunday night in a snowstorm. And
Doug tired after the show. And
if Troy Elman's still in here, he could tell you Sunday night we both went back to the hotel because he was in the same hotel. We went out to dinner. It was like a blizzard out there Sunday night.
Yeah.
Monday morning, it was beautiful, clear sailing home, but I'm glad we didn't drive home.
I forget what day it was. I think I left Saturday night. Was it Saturday night or Sunday morning? I don't remember, but I drove to Virginia. And there was a little bit of good stuff. So I'm hearing also. So DM Leo said really nice thing. He says, "LOL again. I love your stuff, my friend. Plus service and delivery. It's always great prices, and
good.
It's stuff. Always great prices and are great too. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I price my stuff at enough where I'm making some money to make it worth my time.
Right.
But not so much that I'm like begging for customers because, you know, I mean, there's a lot of money in this hobby. Don't get me wrong. There's people willing to spend, but like, you know, like I said earlier, there are people that are very loyal to Dwarven Forge. They will spend 10 grand on Dwarven Forge stuff, but they'll balk at spending 100 on a 3D printed piece. And that's fine. I mean, everybody's got their preference. So,
yeah,
you know, I know my customer base and I try and, you know, stick with that, and I stay in my lane.
Yeah.
But the funny part is, it's like, you know, I met Stephen Picorni. He's bought from me before. He's bought from me through the RPG Auctions Facebook group. He's bought off my Etsy store. He came and bought stuff from me at the convention. We went over, he grabbed it. He wanted a bunch of stuff and was like, hey, you want to do a trade? And so we went back over and he was trying to hand me like sets of his Dwarven Forge stuff that he had for his game. Oh, take this. I'm like, I said, well, I'll be honest. I go, first of all, it's too much for what you're looking at. I go, second of all, I have all my 3D printed stuff. It would just, you know, to take a little bit of that, it just seemed kind of pointless. So he had some other stuff. He had a movie, he had some dice bags and stuff. So we did a trade, and, you know, he just wanted to throw stuff at me. He was like, oh, take this. Oh, these LEDs are so cool. This is great. This will be nice guy, really.
Oh yeah, he's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always have a good time with Stefan. No, it's weird. Licensing wise, if you don't say it's for a specific game and they're your sculpts, there's not a whole lot they can do to prevent you from putting them out there. But if you say it's for Shadow Dark, then you got to have the license for Shadow Dark.
No. What I was talking about is like, so this is Fat Dragon Games, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So Tom Tullis owns Fat Dragon Games.
Right.
Yeah,
Tom Tullis, he requires a license to sell this, but Tom doesn't charge anything for his license. He just requires you to be licensed, so he knows who's selling the stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Printable scenery. If you want to sell in in the United States, just the United States, you're looking at about $1,000.
Well,
if you want to sell internationally, you're looking at like $2,500 a year.
Here's the problem with the free license, though. Any contract to be valid has to have a consideration on both sides.
Yeah.
So when you're dead and Tom is dead and your kids are fighting over who owns those things, it's up for grabs because there was no consideration on Tom's side. Now he can charge you $1. He doesn't have to charge you real money, but there has to be some consideration on both sides.
Well,
I married a lawyer, Mike, and by the way, be really certain before you marry a lawyer. That's all I'm saying.
The thing is, though, when you're printing for yourself, you don't need a license.
No.
You buy the products, you print your own stuff. It's when you sell it. I see people, and it drives me nuts sometimes. I'll see people on RPG auctions selling 3D printed stuff that I know for a fact they're not licensed for. You know what? I'm not going to concern myself with it. It's their deal. I know
it has to be their sculpt. Yeah. If it's not their sculpts, you're right. They're not supposed to be doing it.
Right.
The other thing is, even if it is your sculpt, but it's a trademarked piece,
right?
You can't do it without a license.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Freezer says Orcus is interesting as different versions depict him as either a super muscular or a fat guy. Either one is fine. Hold those two up if you can. Do you have them next to you?
And you can be both, by the way. You can be a super fat muscular guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah. See, he does the Wisconsin workouts. Just look at it.
Yeah. And then hold the other one up.
That's beautiful, by the way, Mike.
That's the shrine.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's the more goatish-esque. Yeah. Good stuff, man.
I don't know if you see these torches up on my wall that are flanking there. I just made those the other day.
Awesome.
The nice part is they use these little rechargeable lights.
Yeah.
You know, and they can go. Let's see. They can go on like just straight lights. They do little pulsing. They got a flame. And then you could set timers on them. So you could use that as your Shadow Dark timer. Set it for an hour. And your players don't know. As soon as that thing shuts off, they're in darkness. They don't know what time, you know.
How much is a pair of those, Mike?
So I just had people ask me about it today. I got to sit down and price them out.
Okay.
I do. I think if cool. I'm gonna start bringing those to the shows. I think I will probably sell them without the lights and just let people buy their own lights to put in them. They come right off of Amazon. The lights were a 2-pack for like $32.
Yeah.
You know, and So it'll keep the cost down a little bit, so they can put them on their wall, and when they're ready to go get lights for it. The nice thing is they've got a channel that runs through them, so if you wanted to put a light fixture in it and hardwire them in, you can.
Yep.
I opted to go this route because then I got them on the wall with 2 screws. I can literally unscrew them and take them with me and put them in my booth or something.
No, very, very well done, sir. Very well.
Yeah.
I want to make some freestanding ones just to help draw people into the booth. Maybe not even to sell, just to have there, because I tell you, when I light stuff up, the LED lit and everything, it draws people in. They see it and they're like, "Oh, I got to go check that out."
Well,
I wish I
especially
could
when
show
you
you
can
guys. I wish I could show you guys the sconce I have above my screen over here. It's a dragon sconce on the top, and it's all metal kind of thing, but it's got a shimmering light like you have to in there. I love that. You should definitely bring them to the cons.
Yeah.
People love all that stuff. I do personally, but
Yep.
Okay, more comments here. By the way, Ed, good to see you. Ed says, where the donating party doesn't take
Ed's
any
asking
money
about, can you do stuff that is trademarked, that is, you don't have a license for, if it's just for a charity auction? And the answer, believe it or not, is 99% of the time, no, you shouldn't. There are some exceptions. Now, it's funny. I used to do, way back in the early days at the lodge for GaryCon, I used to do what we called one-off modules. I would make one personal copy. And as you mentioned, for personal use, you can do whatever you want to do. But there would only ever be the one copy, and it would be full trade dress TSR, old-fashioned looking module that I would then run for parties at the con, and then they would sell it at the auction. But there can't ever be more than just the one. If for instance, Dale Leonard bought the last one, if he so much as photostats it, it's illegal.
Yeah. So Freezer says, I have seen lately that what you're talking about, people getting busted in Warhammer competitions for using 3D printed versions of the models, nothing criminally charged, but banned from the tournament. Yeah, I can see that.
Yep.
They want them to use their products.
Now Games Workshop has been stepping over the line a little bit. They're going after creators that make models that are similar. Yes. They're not like reproducing a Warhammer model, but they're making something that's similar. And I think they're going to end up on the wrong side of this eventually. It's, they charge a fortune for their stuff. And there's some people that are just like, I can't do that. I'm going to print my own stuff. It's not going to be the same, but so I don't know.
It has to be only 20% different in order to be legally not copyrightable as the original.
Right.
And some of these sculptors out there are magnificent in the work that they do. Like, everybody's worried about AI because, it's going to put the artists out of business. It's not going to put sculptors out of business. Oh my goodness, no.
I've never looked at it, but I do know that there is, I think it's called Meshy, which is an AI that's made for making 3D mesh models.
Yeah.
I don't know how good it is. I've seen reports of it that it's actually pretty decent, but it's still never going to create the same as some of these. I mean, like Artisan Guild, it's a husband and wife team. They've been doing this for years, and they make miniatures, and their stuff is just phenomenal. I can't see an AI model making something as good. And then when you make, and then 3D models have to be able to be printable. So Meshy can probably make it, but there may be certain voids inside of it or something that will cause it to fail on a print.
Yeah.
Where a lot of these guys spend a lot of time perfecting those models, so they print how they want them to.
It's not just art; it's design. Yes.
Right. Yeah. It's like Tom Tullis's stuff. He makes great stuff. He's got minis. I've got a ton of his minis. I've got all of his stuff. I backed all his Kickstarters. And he's got dungeon tiles, cavern tiles, wilderness stuff. But he also has miniatures. And like that Orcus is one of his. His stuff may not be the most detailed like some of the other ones, but it prints very, very well.
And like clockwork. Yeah. You never get a bad one in a bunch. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's designing his stuff to be printed FDM, so you don't need a resin printer to print miniatures. you can print very good quality FDM miniatures these days.
Yeah.
But you got to have a designer that makes them for that, because if they're not, they won't come out well.
Yeah. All right. So back in the, let me see. We say we have Culver's here in Phoenix, Arizona. Culver's Rocks. Darn, someone who looked like me painted up the Moloch statue and donated it to Gary Con charity auction a few years ago. Oh, wow. Darn them, or how awesome. I don't know how to.
Well,
I don't
and
know
the
how to
thing is,
react
if
to
it's
that
a painted miniature and it's not sold painted, then I mean, I can buy a copy of a first edition book and resell it at the auction. I'm not claiming that it's one that I did.
Right.
It's just a book I bought, and oh gosh, Gary was there, so I had him sign it. Go ahead, sell it at the auction. But that's the thing. Anytime it's somebody claiming that it's something that's a one of a kind, and look what I did, it's okay if it's just one of a kind. The minute it's two of a kind, you have trouble.
See, I don't know where the legality stands so if I'm licensed with, say, Printable Scenery, and I print a piece and you buy it from me, I can legally sell that to you under their licensing agreement.
Right.
I don't know what can you turn around and sell that afterwards?
If I just have the one and it's a personal collection piece, yes.
Right, because you bought it, you didn't create it. I created it under the licensing agreement.
Right.
You just bought it from me.
When you sell your 2007 Chevy Impala, you're not infringing on Chevy's license to create the Impala.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't like what Ed's talking about, because we had spoke. He asked about using some of my pieces in some charity games and stuff, and I'm like, I'm fine with that. I'm the one that's got the licensing agreement. I can make the stuff. It really shouldn't affect him that much when it comes down to that.
What's the name?
So what else you got over there? I want to see some more stuff.
All right, let's see. We've got. Did you see any of the portals that I had? These were
Prussia.
Let me get my phone out so I can show you this. Ed Stark's been printing some of these too. He's printed more than I have, actually. Let me find.
Yeah, I've been back casting out of plaster lately because my Prussia filament printer is down.
Oh,
we burned it out.
So these portals here, these are from Black
I'm
Scroll
gonna make
Games.
the screen bigger so we can see you here. All right.
Yes.
There we go.
So I don't have any painted ones, but so like this here. So the bottom of it comes out.
Yeah, you can fit. I saw that with the phone fit in there with the background. That was super awesome. Right, exactly. There it is.
Right. So
yeah.
Yep. Then the bottom goes back on, and there it goes.
That's pretty, dude. That is pretty cool, dude.
Yeah, they were a big seller. I only bought a handful of them with me, and they were sold. Most of them were sold 10 minutes into the first day.
Well, it's funny. When I was filming that at your thing, the one that was there, I went back and I wanted to look at it again to get another picture, and it was gone.
Yeah, so there's this underwater one. This one, this one sold quick. The desert one. This one here I didn't even have. This is a new one.
Yeah, I like that with the kind of the tentacle looking vines.
And then I've got the big staircase one right there.
Yeah, I remember seeing that at Page. You had something similar to that.
I've got, so these are 3D. This is printable scenery stuff. The airships.
Yep. Spelljammer type of.
I just did this tower the other day. That's from Black Scroll Games.
That's awesome.
These are some of just cavern tiles from Fat Dragon Games.
Love it.
A couple different pieces here. I can't even tell you off the top of my head where they're from right now. I printed these years ago. These are part of my collection, but
so can you pick up one of those? Is that the mine one I was talking about earlier?
No, the mine one's over here. Let me grab it.
Yeah, I'd love to see that, because I was super I don't know if the right word is infatuated by it, but
I want those portals for level 3 Wolfmoon, baby.
There you go.
So here's the mine.
Yep. Yep. There you go.
got the cave in on it, and then of course the other side.
Yeah,
got
I
the
like the little
fossil in it.
fossil in there too. That's pretty
So-
awesome.
But this piece right here can just come out, and then you
could
could just
thrown in, yeah.
you just
Snap
slide
into
the
the
regular
train.
track in there. So then
Yeah.
you know,
If the thief successfully removes the trap, okay.
right?
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. I was surprised. I only brought 2 of them with me, and I brought 2 of them home. I thought they would sell, but it's one of those things when I start these shows, I'm always guessing new stuff. Like, well, I think this will sell, and
Yeah.
like the portals, I was pretty sure they would. I really should have brought more because they were gone so fast.
So so Dimitri says, "Damn, that rocks." Have you guys heard about Hazard Quest? The guy is based out of Wyoming. I think he draws cinema quality tabletop with LEDs, portals like you've shown. He runs a premium experience. I have not heard.
I haven't heard.
Check that out. Can you bring up one of those ships? That was pretty awesome. One, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you able to get that or no?
Yeah. The dwarven one with the big balloon on it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pick that up because that balloon's not attached. It's just balancing on there right now.
Okay.
I didn't attach it because I haven't painted it yet. And it's a solid piece. The way they originally designed it, it's solid. So that big balloon is heavy, top heavy.
Really? I bet.
They redesigned it so it's hollow inside. So I'm going to reprint it because that big thing, even once I glue it all together, you run the risk of it breaking.
Yeah,
with all that weight on it. But
and DM Leo is asking if you can show the new portal up close, please.
The fire one? Yeah.
This one, Leo?
Wow, that is pretty hot, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Is that the one you're talking about, Leo?
I'm guessing that he's seen the other ones.
Yeah.
He actually has the desert one.
I know they make photographic frames that are basically a motion-filled LED screen that you put your pictures on. I'm just wondering if they come small enough to insert in those things too.
I thought about putting I thought about doing was trying to set them up with like a Raspberry Pi Zero board.
Okay.
And just a little screen,
Yeah.
The only thing
with cell phones,
Yeah. The cell phone's probably the easiest way to do it, but there's lots of ways. So this here, don't judge the quality of this. This came out of my collection. I haven't painted it yet. This is from my old Ender 3 printers back in the day. The quality is not up to the standard these days. That's why this hasn't been painted and brought with me to a show.
It looks great though, man.
It does, but if you look at my stuff close up and you compare the old stuff to the new, you could see quite a difference. But these are cool. They have a lot of ships. I've got a whole bunch of them that are sitting in the other room that need to get put together. The only hard part about them is I want to do all the rigging. They come with all the stuff to set up the rigging, and you got to buy the cord to do it. It's a lot of work to rig it all up and get it tight and everything. I just don't know how easy it's going to be to transport to conventions with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I thought about selling them as a kit rather than painting them and everything. Just print all the pieces, all the rigging, everything, put it together with instructions on the cord to buy and how to rig them yourself with a link to the site that shows a guide on it. And then just sell them that way.
Yeah, that would work.
If you did the rigging and then coated it with a matte finish epoxy, just something, so that you could remove the mast and the rigging as one and lay it flat in a box. Yeah, it might actually survive going to a show. Other than that, you're
the problem is the way they do the rigging is like on the boat, they'll actually have the sections that you run the rigging through, and it actually it'll run up and down, up and down, up and down, back and forth. So it's not really, once you put it together, you're not taking it apart. So the idea of bringing a ship that stands this freaking tall in a box.
Well, unless you take the portions that attach to the deck, the loops, and make those part of the rigging piece.
Yeah.
Pins, pins that set in when you set it up.
So Dreg just said something very funny. He says, "Y'all are cracking," with a K.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's funny. Ed asks, did you sell the big fort you brought to Paige with the fires?
I did not. The castle I still have.
Yeah.
Actually, the year before, Ed saw I actually had a fort too, which is like with palisade walls and everything. The thing was 36 inches wide, 32 inches deep, with working gates and everything.
I have one of those. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was, I made 2 of those, and Ron Meisker bought one of them.
Nice.
Because he's another one of my big customers. He loves his terrain and minis.
You gotta have toys, man. You gotta have toys.
Yeah. Yep. And I met Ron at Page One, and we've been kind of working together ever since. I do the mimic minis that goes in the bags there. I do those for him, and I did the buttons the first couple years, which were all 3D printed.
Nice.
I had to back away from that one only because it was really, really, really time consuming. And when I work with him on the convention, I try and give him good deals because it's for the convention. He's the money that he brings in from that goes towards the charity and whatnot. And so it just wasn't worth it for me to do it this year, but I still did the minis. I did his Kickstarter minis for his Kickstarter that just finished. So yeah, I've been working with him, and he comes back all year long. He'll just message me out of the blue, Mike, what do you have that would fit this theme? And I'll look a bunch of stuff up and send him pictures, and he goes, I want that. He loves his stuff.
I got a specific question for you. So for my Booteel game, I'm looking to print out a couple train carts.
Yep.
Is that something that you could find and print?
I could look for it. Yeah. I don't have one. Like this whole Western set was part of a Kickstarter.
Sure.
It came with tracks, but there's no train.
Yeah.
But I could look at. I'm sure there's plenty of stuff out there. I'm sure I could find it.
I'll get with you offline because I'm thinking of creating a scenario that all happens within the train.
What scale are you looking at?
It'd be 28. Yeah.
Okay, that most of the stuff's going to probably be made at that.
Yeah.
So that'd be easy.
So it'd be like a couple carts with the removable tops and maybe some tables and stuff in them, however. Yeah.
A great place to look for stuff is called My Mini Factory. I'll send you a link to it.
Yeah.
And you can go on there and search too and just say, hey, what about this? Because, anything
all that's STLs, right?
Right. It's all STLs. So anything that's on there, if you find something you want, like Ron will do that. He'll find this. Hey, can you print this for me? So I'll just go buy the STL. And we'll print the stuff, and then we just add the cost of the STL to it is all.
Yeah,
but
I took a stab at doing because I had a 3D printer when I was years ago, and took a stab at it, and I only messed with it for about a year and did some figures and some some terrain and stuff like that. But I never perfected it like you.
Yeah.
But this is something that I did, which is a coffin. It's really kind of the removable. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Many years ago did it, but it didn't come out super good.
It's funny because I have boxes sitting in my cabinet over there, just filled with all little parts like that, stuff that I printed that never got painted or whatever. Yeah. One of these days, I'm just going to pull the boxes out and be like, all right, I'm going to sit down and start tackling this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I never painted that. I should one day get in there and I'm lazy.
It would probably kill some people, a little bit inside to see it, but there's times where I'll pull out boxes of that stuff and I'll pull out things that I printed like 10 years ago. And I'm like, yeah, this quality sucks. I chuck it in the trash. And they're like, I've got gamers that are like, oh my God, I'd use that. I'm like, I'm not putting that on my table. I'll print a new one.
Yeah. The infamous squat train, those Spelljammer guys are North Texas. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Blur is here. She says STC. I don't know what that means, but maybe somebody can say what that means.
Let Freezer know too that the Warhammer naval battles, I actually have the game. I think it's still shrink wrapped. I'll be bringing it to Dallas to sell with all of my. I need to get rid of these games because I have never
Freezer,
played it.
Are you going to be at North Texas? Well, we'll find out. Maybe he'll hear that.
Yeah. Anyway.
So what cons do you, I mean, you kind of talked a little bit about it, but what other cons do you kind of making appearances this year?
The only ones that I've been doing have been Page. I've done Page, the first 3 years. I'll be there next year. I tried after Page 1, there was a somebody there promoting an anime con back at the same convention center, said there's 6,000 people. So we went and did that. It was a bust.
Yeah,
it was a bust. If they had 6,000 people, it didn't look like it. But even if they did, it was a bunch of kids running around in cosplay, having a great time messing with each other. But they weren't there to buy anything. So, you know, we made our money back, but it wasn't worth doing again.
The only way you make money in an anime show is if you run events that feature your stuff.
Yep.
And get people sucked into the gaming aspect.
I a couple of years ago, I did, I've known Josh Pop from GaryCon for a while, and we got talking. And when I first started the business, I was heavily focused on my laser. I've got a big commercial laser that I don't use much anymore. I've found there's a little niche audience in the hobby for that stuff, but a lot of people don't want it. We focus on the 3D printed terrain.
Yeah.
But the laser stuff, they had reached out to me about making prize boxes for their Magic the Gathering tournament at GaryCon. And they, of course, they work with Wizards of the Coast, right. And they ended up getting me. It was a merge between the GaryCon logo and the Wizards of the Coast logo for their tournament. And so we put the artwork on the top of the box, and, it said the year for GaryCon and everything. And I made I made 20 boxes for their tournament for prizes, and I donated them.
Oh,
nice.
I was just getting started, and it was kind of just getting my name out there. The next year they came back and bought some, and then they kind of approached me, and they were like, Luke liked the stuff and this and that. And if you're interested in maybe coming to Vend, we could, get an application in and we'll see what we can do. And I talked to my wife about it, and I was like, it's 12 hours away from here. It's very expensive to stay there. I just don't think it would be worth it for me. So I've just tried to stick with the local ones for now and deal with my online sales. And I've done really well between the local ones, building an online presence. I have a few customers on Etsy that are regulars every month that come and buy, them alone buy a few $100s every month. I've got one guy that he had told me in January what his February order was going to be. So I had it all ready, painted, all set up for him. So the other day, he said, I'm ready for it. He bought the stuff. I shipped it out, and then he messaged me and says, here's what I'm going to want in March. I'm going to be ordering this stuff. And it was some of that Dwarven castle that I had. I don't know if you probably saw that on the table.
Yeah, it was the big one.
Not the big castle in the front table. On the side one, there was a
Oh,
Dwarven.
the one on the left side.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
So he wanted some of that. So, but he's like, I don't need it painted. I've got some of it already. I painted it myself, so I'm going to match it. I said, okay. So I messaged him and I said, hey, by the way, your stuff shipped out this morning. I go, and I showed him a picture and I said, your stuff for March is already done.
Wow.
So he's already messaged me back and he's like, well, I think my players are going to see it next session, so I might be picking it up earlier. So wow. I just try and stay, if he tells me, Leo says he's going to want something, I start it right away. This guy says he wants, I would rather have it done and sitting on the shelf waiting. And he's a regular, every month he comes back and buys, so I'm not worried about it. If for some reason he changes his mind, I just put it on the store and sell it. That's all.
And that's good old Leo, huh?
Yeah. No, that's not Leo with that one. That's an Etsy only customer. I've never met him.
Okay, got it. But you said Leo's probably one of your bigger customers too, right?
Yeah, I met Leo at Page 2.
Yep. And
then he came to Central New York. Obviously Page 3 came back to buy a bunch of stuff. And then throughout the year, he'll message me. And, I post stuff on Facebook for the Thunderstruck Workshop Facebook page. And he'll message me, oh, you're holding out on me. Something new there. How much is that? So,
yeah.
I had to be careful leading up to Page and tell people I'm not selling stuff. We got 2 weeks left and I'm scrambling to get it done. I can't pre-sell stuff. I need to have enough for the booth. Right. it will be there if you want it. Be there early and pick it up, or I'll make you another one later. But I try and like for Central New York, I'm ahead. I'm way ahead. It's in June, and I'm way ahead for the year. So I'll probably a month or two before just start posting. Hey, if anybody wants anything for delivery, you don't have no shipping. I'll make it and we'll deliver it in person at Central New York.
Yeah.
I did that last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ducato ordered this ruined tower. I don't know if you saw the big man. It's huge. It's like, I don't know, 30 inches tall. This big tower that I had that was on my table. Jay Scott bought it, so you might not have seen it because it was already packed up when you came.
Before. Yeah. Do you have it? Do you have it around where you can show?
I do not have one right now.
Is that the Hex Castle ruined keep tower?
No, it's not. That's much smaller than that one.
Okay.
But Ducato bought one. I had the full one at Central New York. Oh, there's Roger right there. Roger Rebus. He's the organizer for Central New York.
Nice. Welcome, Roger. Thanks for jumping on.
So I had the regular tower there, and Double D. I don't know what his name is. Double D. He's got a YouTube channel. Maybe Ducato or Roger can say in there what his channel is. You probably know who he is. But anyways, he bought the tower from me, and Ducato was there, and he was like, I know they make a ruined version of that. Could you make that? So I came home, I printed him a big ruined version, and that thing was a beast to ship too. I had to put together a bunch of boxes, and I put the whole tower together, and rather than send it in pieces, I bubble wrapped the whole thing fully assembled and then put it into the box. And I'm really particular about that stuff because I do not want a piece showing up broken or damaged.
Yep.
So I pack the crap out of stuff. Yeah, the Diversity and Dragons, they always refer to him as Double D. That's the only way I know him. I don't really know his channel much, but I met him there. Nice guy, and he bought some stuff from me. And he ended up painting it up and putting a video showing it off and stuff. And yeah, those towers are pretty cool. And it's funny because I need some of the stuff for myself. I sell it all, but I don't have them in my own collection because they're big sellers.
Yeah.
So I print it up, and then a show's coming up. I'm like, I might as well bring that. It's more money.
Yeah. That's super awesome.
Such a mercenary you are. No, I'm kidding.
I know.
Is there any other kind of Diversity and Dragons. Is there any other things you guys want to see that Mike could bring up? Throw it in the comments. Yeah, man. Especially the Old West stuff. I'm really now you kind of got my wheels spinning. So I'm gonna have to go on your site and dig through and get back with you back and forth. And I'm pretty familiar with those STL sites too. So if you can do stuff from that, that's.
So I don't have it. So right now I don't have any of that stuff on my site because I don't have a license for it. But my wife was like, you know what? There's a market for that stuff. You should get a license and start selling it. So I'm going to start looking into that. I'm going to pick up the license for it. It's, their license was pretty easy. I know for their Kickstarter, I think I paid like $60 for all the models. I think it was like $150 for everything with a lifetime license.
Yeah.
So I just need to reach out to the guy and be like, hey, how much is it going to cost me for the license? $100, here you go. And then I can start selling it. But I do think I'm going to add it to it because it's great stuff. And, I bought it because I got into Deadlands, and we started running Deadlands a little bit. And
great game. Great game.
I have a ton of Deadlands stuff. I just got
you really?
Their last Kickstarter,
I wish more people would play that game, to be honest with you. It's
Carnage in the Cascades was their last Kickstarter. It's all sitting there. I haven't opened it yet because we're not playing it at the moment, but it's a very cool game.
Yeah, if you like that kind of sci-fi western.
The Weird West. The Weird West.
Weird West. Yeah, that's the way to put it.
Still getting.
Freezer asked, "Do you have any sci-fi stuff you can
I don't. I have absolutely no sci-fi here because I've never run any sci-fi games. I'm getting to the point now where I'm running Shadow Dark right now. We're just trying it out now. I'm probably going to get into Dark Space, which is a space theme for Shadow Dark.
Got it.
I would like to get into the sci-fi stuff. There is some printable scenery, a couple different sets that I don't own that I'd buy and start doing them. But I started out with what I knew, which was the D&D stuff.
Sure.
Now I'm starting to expand because my name's definitely been getting out there. I've got regular customers that come to see me at all these shows. So I'm starting to, if people start telling me there's something else they want, I add it,
Yeah.
There's always customers for it.
Yeah. Well, Mike, are you having fun doing this?
I am.
Well,
So
man, that's all that matters, huh?
So it's like I said, 25 years working in a prison.
Yeah.
This is so much nicer. I go to a convention, everybody's happy to see you. They're smiling. They love the stuff. It's, you meet all these great people and get to talk with them. There's no misery there.
Yeah.
It was misery every day at work. I mean, I don't want to say it's not horrible. I mean, like I told you earlier, it provided well, but I'm glad it's done.
Yeah.
I feel for the guys that are still in there because New York State is a absolute mess.
So you were there 25 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. I worked at Auburn Correctional, which is the oldest continuously operating prison in the United States.
Yeah.
Home of the world's first electric chair. It's just a, 40-foot walls right in the middle of the city.
Yeah. Yeah.
Were
you a corrections officer there? You were internal? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fortunately for me, my last 6 years, I took a bid out at SUNY Upstate Hospital. We had a ward there.
Oh, okay.
And then we had they had a little holding area for a cancer center, and it was on the opposite side of the hospital. And I sat in a room by myself with a cell behind me and a big 32-inch TV, and I'd wait for a couple trips a day to show up. Guards would come in from another prison with their inmates, and they'd sit and watch their own inmates, and I would just sit there and talk with these guys and watch TV all day. And it was a nice last 6 years, a winding down from that place.
Wow. Yeah, that must be pretty stressful type of job.
It's the stress part of it is the fact that they're so understaffed. Nobody wants the job anymore. Yeah. Nobody's taking it. So we were working, they were sticking us for 24-hour mandatory shifts. You'd come into work for your 8-hour shift, and they'd be like, well, you're not going home. You got to work another 8. And then that 8 would be done, and they say, well, we don't have anybody. You're going to stay another 8. And so they actually went on strike last year. I was out of the department already, but I ended up going and standing on the picket line with them and stuff. And it's illegal to strike in New York if you're a correction officer. They've got a Taylor law. They fine them 2 days for every day they're out, and and they got nothing on it.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Did that come with amphetamines? I mean,
they weren't asking for money. They weren't asking for any of that. They just wanted safer conditions, and the governor fought it tooth and nail, and they really got screwed in the end. She's fired like 2,500 of them over it, and so it made it even harder. We've got National Guard working these prisons now to fill the holes. They've been in there for a year now. So I'm happy to be out. So when you ask me, am I happy? Yeah, this is great.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess what I was more hinting at is, are you happy at what you're doing with this? I think
I am. I love doing
fun, which I think is pretty awesome.
Yeah. Back in the 80s, Angelo, all of us smaller press guys would get together for drinks later, and we'd all look at each other and say, so much better than working at Sears.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine what you'd have to say if you were working at a prison. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Sears ain't bad by comparison.
Yep.
I have a couple buddies that are corrections officers and various around the, more in California than anything.
You're gonna get to know a few guys.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people think
I'm not admitting that I was on the other side at all, but yeah.
Well, a lot of people think, you just sat around all day. Well, you're right. You sit around all day doing nothing until something happens.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like you go from 0 to 100 in an instant because all of a sudden something happens.
Yeah.
Somebody sharpened a toothbrush.
Yeah. I can relate to that because I'm a volunteer firefighter here in town at our rural fire, and we do a lot of sitting around. But man, when you get a call, it's definitely go.
Right.
Make it last for a long time.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I made it out a lot saner than a lot of the guys because, listen, I've got hobbies that I enjoy. I do the arcade restoration stuff. I do all my gaming stuff, and I do metal detecting. I've got 3 expensive hobbies, but
what the hell?
but I enjoy it. It gets me out doing things, and keeps me busy.
You kind of said you were also an electronics nerd too, so
my whole life. That's how it's like. I've got I've got computers all over. My kids have computers. My wife, she works in IT and marketing.
Oh, okay.
We got computers everywhere. I do the restoration of the arcade machines. You could see there's just a few.
Yeah.
There.
Did you restore those or what?
Yeah. People are always like, "Well, how do you afford those?" I buy them off Craigslist for $200 to $400 a piece.
Yeah, and then you restore the boards in them.
I fix the boards and restore the cabinets and do whatever needs to be done.
Yeah. Do you get down? Do you get down to the component level and you got an O-scope and all that?
Yeah.
Do you really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, that was my original background, was electronic engineering. So that's
I really should teach myself. It's not even teaching myself. I really should just spend the time and start capping monitors because you can't find monitors anymore. So you got to repair the old stuff.
Yeah.
And I've got a bunch of them that need work, and I don't know. I've got a few machines that are down because of that. So I really need to.
Isn't there also a market to like convert those to like an LED style? Because those are all CRTs that are in them.
Yeah,
right?
they are all CRTs. If you put LEDs in them, those CRTs are like 320 pixel or less.
Yeah.
And the LEDs don't look right. Nothing looks right. They scale. They scale improperly. They don't show the pixels. It's weird for people to understand, but those CRTs look way better with that old hardware.
The graininess comes out of the LEDs. I think it's
Well, you got to put some kind of a translator in so that the analog signal becomes a digital one.
Yes, you do. Yep. And then they actually have converters that will actually basically add the pixelization to it to make it look like it did back then, because the LEDs smooth it all out. So I don't do as much with it as I used to. I'm pretty busy with this stuff, but I plan. We have a garage, a 2-car garage that's just filled with stuff. We're building a shed this year to move it all out, and all the arcade machines are going to move to the garage, which gives me more space here because I'm out of space for the business stuff now.
Yeah. You laugh at me, Mike. I'm an old car guy.
Yeah.
So my garage is right to the rafters with old car stuff.
Yeah.
Including old cars.
There's no cars in my garage.
Yeah.
I got a big truck, and unfortunately my house was built in the 60s, and they didn't build garages back then to fit big trucks.
Nope.
Vehicles have gotten bigger and bigger these days.
It won't clear the door.
Yep.
Well, and they don't sell vans anymore that you can use to take your stuff to a show. So we bought the school bus that was at Philadelphia. That gray silver metallic school bus. That's my conmobile.
Oh, nice.
Because you can't get a decent truck anymore. You can't get a decent van anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I managed to avoid a trailer this year, but I think starting next year, I'm going to have a trailer. I don't think I have much choice.
They're horrible in the snow.
I know. The only reason I needed one this year was I had that bookshelf. I don't know if you guys saw the TSR bookshelf that was in the auction. Yeah. That was mine. I found that locally here off of Marketplace. And I ended up getting Pete Flagg to fit it in his car. And so we squeezed that in there so I could put everything under the tonneau cover of my truck, and I didn't have to get a trailer this year.
Right.
So it helped. But
so when is CNY? When are you guys? When is that? So that's the next con you're going to, right?
It is. It's in June. Roger could tell you the dates. I don't know offhand.
I can Google it. Yeah, let me see. CNY.
It's CNY RPG Con.
2025. It looks like. Oh, cool tabletop site here. The 14th, 15th of June. Yep.
Is that the 2026?
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, this is the old one, 2025 on here. So it's going to be mid-June sometime. I don't see the new date.
But right after Dallas.
It's right around. It's right around the. Oh, there you go. 12th to the 14th.
Okay, thank you, Roger. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, welcome. I haven't seen you on this channel before. Welcome, man. Thank you for jumping on. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So there's that, and then you're going to be coming back to the page next year again, obviously, right? Yeah.
Yep. Like I said, I'm not sure yet, but I've been talking with Pete about maybe just riding with him to Concoction, just for 2 days to play a couple games. I'm not going to go sell anything.
Yeah.
Just to get out and do that. But I got to weigh it out. Like I said, it's 2 weeks before Central New York. So if for some reason I'm not ready for it, I'm going to stay home and, spend that extra time getting ready. But we'll see.
We got to get you out to North Texas sometime. I know that's far.
I'd love to, but that's a hike.
Yeah.
I can't, I can't see it ever really being worth it to come out there as a vendor. Unfortunately, the one problem I have with my choice of business is I'm limited to what I can produce.
Yeah.
What I can print and paint myself.
Yeah.
It's not like I can just buy from some retail site and load up on stock and go. So I can't do too many conventions a year because I don't want it to feel like a job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Getting ready for Page felt like a job this year because I waited to the last minute. So I vowed this year we're not doing that. That's why I post on my Facebook every week. I'm painting up a few pieces.
Yeah.
2 or 3 pieces every week. So I know that I'll be ready for all these conventions. Just start grabbing stuff, load up my truck, and go.
Yeah. Freezer asks, so what's your highest selling item?
Most expensive item or
I think you guys
biggest
highest selling, like how many you sold the most. But I mean, most expensive would be fine too. I mean,
like some of my big items are this. This has been a huge.
I need one of those.
Since Page 1, I probably sold 25, 30 of these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I mean, with the LEDs too, that's such a novelty, kind of really cool.
Right.
Well, and I'll tell you, Mike, in Dallas, we always make a couple grand over the counter, and that's on a lean year. On a good year, we made as much as like $5 grand over the counter, and I've got $20 items I'm selling this all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I don't think that I wouldn't make money there. I just when I think about I got to drive from New York to Texas to get there.
It's a 2-day drive for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm up here by Milwaukee. Yeah.
It's maybe I just gotta talk to the wife and say, "Hey, you ready for a road trip to Texas one year?"
I mean, that's a drive, dude. I'm gonna drive there from Montana this year because I'm bringing my whole setup for Boudreaux. It's gonna be a 21-hour drive for me.
Yeah.
I ain't selling anything, guys.
Yeah.
Well, so far
I'll be playing.
My wife is originally from Omaha, and her family's still out there, and that is like a 17-hour drive from here. So,
well, you got to get through New York City too, right?
No, I'm up just south of Lake Ontario. So Syracuse is right in the center of the state. I'm nowhere near the city.
Oh, got it. Okay, okay.
So I'm about 5 hours northwest of the city.
Well, and don't take the Pennsylvania Turnpike if you're headed west because it's $70 each way.
Yeah, so when we head out there, we take 90 is New York State Thruway, so we take 90 into 80 the whole way.
Yeah,
it's a straight shot all the way out through Iowa.
Hey, Roger says, Mike, let's rent or buy a bus to go to North Texas. I don't know.
All right, Roger. don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. Maybe we'll do it.
Let's do a GoFundMe to get this guy over to North Texas.
We'll load up the bus full of goods and can we?
Dude, that would be pretty. I think you do really well there.
I do. I think you do fantastic.
It's Texas. Can we just sleep in the bus?
You can, but I wouldn't recommend it.
No.
Because believe me,
I've already booked.
I booked
3 rooms.
I
booked 3 rooms already for North Texas because a lot of our gaming group goes too. So
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe you can shack up in one of those.
I wish I could get my gaming group to do anything. They've never come to other than Pete, but I met Pete at Page. So
yeah, what a good guy he is too.
He is.
Yeah. It's funny when I walked into Page, he was the first guy that I saw standing there, and he's like, you're DM Angelo. And then, okay, I am. And then he introduced who he was. And I'm like, yeah, I know you from, because I see his name all over online. And I mean, we never physically met, but yeah, it was a good chat.
Go look at RPG auctions. Pete will have like a $1 bid on everything that comes up.
Yeah. Well, I've done business with him on RPG auctions. That's what I was kind of referring to. So
I keep telling him, I go,
he said, "Oh, you're DM Angelo," and you said, "Does DM Angelo owe you money?"
I think we've done a lot of transactions back and forth selling. And
I keep telling him, I go, Pete, you're never going to win a $1 auction on that.
Exactly. Yeah, he's been on a lot of my auctions. I think by $1. Yeah, he's like, just tag me in every time you. Okay, I'll do it if it's AD&D stuff. Yeah, good dude. Yeah, that was that was my first time at Page, and I had a good time. It was really good. I've seen a lot of people I hadn't seen in a while, and I also seen a lot of people that I've never seen before, which was really cool. And got to put the face to the name, and a lot of the guests that I've had on here, like you met at the con or didn't meet at the con. I met your wife, not you, but.
Oh my God! When you posted that video, I pulled it up and she was like, "I don't want to see it. It's horrible. I don't." I'm like, "You did just fine."
She did great. She showcased everything. It was so good.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. It was super fun.
As for expensive items, he asked, my most expensive would probably be like the castle or the fort that I had a couple years ago. Those are in the $1,000-$1,200 range.
Yeah.
But like that castle, I mean, you saw that painted castle.
Oh, that's crazy, dude.
I priced that set at $1,200 because I was like, there's so many additional pieces to it that this is an entry point. It's expensive, but it's an entry point for somebody if they really want to do a massive setup. They can start with this, and it's fully playable as it is. And then they can say, hey, I want to add ruined walls. I want to add more walls. I want to add whatever.
Yeah.
So that was my thinking on it. I probably won't do those really big pieces going forward. I think I'm going to focus a lot more.
Made to order.
I'm going to focus a lot more on just the small buildings, like the Hobbit house that Leo wants. Or
that's pretty awesome. Bring that up again. I want to see that again.
Yeah, this.
Check this out, Chris.
Yeah,
this
is pretty cool. Look at this.
And it's playable.
Oh yeah.
So it's
Does it go down one more level? Is that okay?
It does.
There it is.
Yep.
That is pretty hot, dude. Yeah.
Yep. And of course, everything's painted inside of it, and it's ready to go.
Are all the bushes and all that stuff? Is that stuff you've tacked on, or are they?
No, this is actually printed on there. And then
you just brushed it on.
Yeah, I like the way they do it because they do them raised, so I can actually take a brush and stipple it on there, and it gives it a really good effect.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. What does that run? Let's just not the friend discount, but what's that? That's run.
I believe that. I think I have that one on my site now. I believe that piece is $350.
Okay,
got it.
Fully, right about where I would have. Yeah. Oh, beautiful.
That's painted.
Yeah,
painted. Wow.
350 is painted. Yeah, so I think it's 175 unpainted. So it's like I said, usually about double.
Yeah. Wow.
So
we got another question here. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just saying those are the types of pieces I want to focus on. The stuff that runs from like, I have a lot. You probably saw. I had a lot of like $6 to $20 items, little things in bags like LED, like little fire pits. They all came with LEDs on them. There were bonfires. There was
accessories.
The owl bear rugs, and they were all painted. And those are all big sellers too. Those I fill up racks with those things, and those are the things that people that aren't willing to spend hundreds of dollars on stuff, but they come in there like, oh,
attainable.
I gotta have a little owl bear rug or a couple LEDs for my game.
Yeah.
So I'm focusing anywhere from $6 to probably $300 is going to be
your sweet spot. Yeah.
My sweet spot. I'll have a few more expensive items, but I don't think I'm going to do the $1,000 plus items, especially like that castle filled an entire bin. The bin came with it. If somebody buys it, they get the bin, but it's a lot if you're at a convention, especially if you flew there or whatever. It's just hard to deal with.
Well, you're going to sell that kind of stuff. I mean, but maybe it's, having that stock that merchandise on, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a tough one, but people are going to order from you. They're going to say,
yes.
yeah. And that's when you print it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I mean, that castle alone was how many pieces? It had to have been 24, 30 pieces, right?
It's a lot. I mean, some of these pieces are big. Like,
yeah,
you'll see like this gateway, and remember, it's all this.
Yeah, slides in.
They slide in. It's a beautiful system the way it works. And the nice part is these all come off, so you could take these off if you wanted, and get. So I have a ruined one over there.
Hold that up.
You could slide the ruined pieces on here if you wanted, and mix and match them too.
Yeah. Hold that up to on your right. Yeah.
Oh.
There you go. Yeah, that's super hot, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that one castle you had in the front was, God, I want to say it was 4x6.
That castle
4x4.
Probably about 4x4, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
well,
but
the table's only 30 inches, so it fit within this. So it wasn't quite 4x4.
Okay, 30. Yeah, so maybe 3x3 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I mean that's still pretty big for a 28 millimeter scale. So
yeah,
I also wondered. The Hobbit hole is awesome. What about a furniture kit for the Hobbit hole?
Yeah, there's all kinds of sets of furniture and stuff that I have. I did do some of them for the show. I had little things, not indoor furniture, which I should start doing. Tables, chairs, dressers, all that kind of stuff. I was doing things like little wagons and outdoor stuff.
Right.
But you're right. I should start doing the indoor stuff because that would definitely.
Your wife has me there at the booth, and she's like, "Oh, Chris, come on, you can't do this good paint job. It's only $350." And I'd be like, "You're right." So here it comes. And then she could grab me quick and go, "Have you thought about the interior, though?"
Yeah.
Because no Hobbit's going to want to live there unless there's beds and bookshelves and no kidding, she'd have another sale, boom, that fast.
I also have sets like these that I've done. I had a tavern one that Leo bought, and I did these as pre-made, ready to go. So this one is like
beautiful,
like a little wizard's.
Beautiful
little wizard's thing. The nice part about this one is I've got it taped on here so it didn't fall out. But it's also LED.
Ah, there you go.
Well, dropping things.
Come on, we want to see the glow.
I know. I'm dropping things on the floor here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
I did this as clear so that way I could actually change out the color of the LED inside of it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Different colors. But I've done a bunch of these ones. I had a sewer one. I had the tavern one that Leo bought. I've had different sets of them, and all of them sold. This is the only one I have left. I had a necromancer one. It was really cool because I painted it all blacks and greens, and it had torch walls on it. But what I did was instead of printing normal torches for it, I printed the torch caps in green and then put the flickering LEDs. So it was like a green flickering flame on them all.
Nice.
So I need to make more of those. I only had that one at Page because I didn't print more. I ran out of time.
Yeah.
LEDs are our friends. They are.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
If you've got players that like the terrain, as soon as you start plopping LEDs everywhere,
I know.
Ooh,
And, standard 3 volt, standard 1.5 volt. What is the standard on the current draw?
I don't know what the volts
I
are.
think they're 3 volts, aren't they?
Probably something like that.
Yeah, so I'd have to look at watch battery or something.
Yeah, they take a CR2032 battery.
Okay.
I was telling Angelo earlier, I just buy them in bulk off of Amazon. Yeah. It's like 100 of them for $30 or something.
Yeah, I think those are like 1.3 or something like that, 1.7 volts.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see the 2032s. To make them flicker, is that the type of LED that you're putting in there? Or?
Yeah, that one's just a standard, a straight
always on.
Always on, but you can Yeah, I've got flickering ones that I use in all the fires. And the fires, I print them in orange translucent. And then
Sure.
all I do is I'll highlight them with some reds and yellows so when it's not on, it looks more like fire. But once you turn it on, the whole thing's flickering, you know.
Yeah.
And I'll use flickering white or flickering orange inside of them. It doesn't matter. They both look the same.
Yeah. Hey, Stephen Clements is in the house, everybody. All right.
Yeah,
we love your Elmores in the back.
He's seeing my Elm. I've got Elmores here. I've got this one actually came down off the wall because I had to put another bookshelf there. You see, I've got an easily up there. What is that? That's another Elmore.
Yeah.
I've got my second edition posters that were all signed by Zeb
Love
Cook. Yeah, I like my stuff. I still have. My wife bought me all the Elmores. All the Elmores and the Eastleys, they've all been gifts from her.
Wow.
Which I have lucked out. My wife's not.
She's a keeper. I'm telling you.
She is.
Yeah.
She's not. She's a video gamer. She plays played EverQuest or World of Warcraft with me. But she's not into tabletop gaming at all. But she loves doing this stuff and coming to the conventions, and she supports
World of Warcraft, perhaps the largest time sink ever invented.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I'm very happy. I had a lot of fun playing those games, but I'm very happy to have broken the chain finally.
Yes. Yeah,
because it's so. I'm retired. I could be sitting here doing nothing, playing games and not making any money and doing nothing. And one of those guys that 10 years later they're dead because they didn't move around. I'm trying to get more active than I was at 25 years of work.
You need an old car habit. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked you earlier, because I mean you're kind of doing it right. You get the game, you're doing stuff that's game related, you're having fun doing it. I mean that's awesome, man.
He has discovered the secret of life. You bet.
The secret of life.
And I got a few more years. Like I said, we're kind of cash flowing both kids through college, and when that's done, a few more years. I mean, my daughter's. She's got three years to go. My son's going to have a full 4 years because he's just finishing high school right now. But when they're done, I've got my. So the nice part was we had a pension and we had. It's either a 403B or a 457. It's a government run 401k.
Right.
And I popped like 20% into that for 20 years. So I basically have two pensions and I'm not even touching that one yet. So I'm like.
And a hobby that pays for itself.
Right. And I told my wife, I said, as soon as the kids are out of school, you retire and let's figure out what we're going to do. Cause it's not like, it's not like we're hurting for it. So I'm enjoying myself and we make some extra money. First couple of years, I maybe made $5-10 grand the first year, and I was like, oh, I'm not getting rich, but I'm making a little bit of hobby money, but it's picking up. I mean, I could tell you that.
You only have to make enough so that you can get up tomorrow and do it again. Your wife doesn't make you get a day job. That's how I have always looked at it.
Well, I can tell you now that January of this year probably almost tripled my pension.
Wow.
So, it's picking up.
Yeah.
I had Paige in there, so that's a big chunk of it. I can't do that every month, but February hasn't been bad. It's picked up since last June, and it's been slowly increasing. And of course, that's why you reach out and, hey, you want to do this show? Yeah, sure, absolutely. Yeah. I like talking about this stuff and gets my name out there more. I get to meet more people. I've been in this hobby since the 80s. I never did conventions. I never met any of these people. All the guys I know that are like, oh yeah, I met Gary and this. I didn't get to meet any of those guys because I didn't do any of this stuff. I just had our home group and that was it.
Yeah.
It's still fun though.
It is. It's absolutely fun.
Don't worry. Gary was just another guy. He was a great guy, but he wasn't, I don't know. There's no pedestal necessary for Gary. Don't worry.
And it's funny because when I met Zeb Cook last year, I told Zeb, I'm like,
regular guy.
I said, listen, I started in like 86, about 88. I started DMing first edition. But 89 second edition came out, and we had Walden Books. That was our source of books in my area. So it was all second edition stuff. So we kind of embraced second edition and went off with it. I've got 2 full bookshelves of just second edition stuff. That's been my bread and butter game. So I met Zeb, and I'm like, I go, I know people gush over their people. I go, I don't really gush over people. I go, but you are, my bucket list guy. You made, you're the guy that edited 2E and made it into what it was. So
and he's actually got a number of incredible micro games too. But he really does.
So that leads into a question from Freezer. He says, "What's your favorite piece for your games? Like every game you play, you always try to shoehorn this one terrain piece because you like it."
I don't think I have one favorite. I really try and change it up all the time, and it's fun. It's funny too because a lot of people may not understand it, but I do not use terrain in all my games. I'm running Shadow Dark right now, and my Shadow Dark game, we just introduced it to the group, and I'm running from their quick start guide the Citadel of the Lost Citadel of the Scarlet Minotaur, and it's this huge dungeon. Well, I took the maps for that, and I scaled them up so they're 1-inch squares, and then I sent it to. I had to split it into 2 sheets, and I sent it to Staples and printed it as a blueprint. They take up my table. My table's 10 feet long and 5 feet wide, and it takes up most of the table. And I've got that laid out, and we use miniatures on it. And people are like, well, what about the terrain? I'm like, I'll throw some scatter terrain on it. I'll use my minis with it. I go, but if I was going to build that as a dungeon, that's a lot of work,
and you're a lot of setting it up, tearing it down too.
Right. Yeah. So for something like that, I'm just going to, do it like that. And people are like, well, how do you hide it? Fog of War. I'm like, for this situation, I'm not. They're new to the system. It's a bunch of 50-year-old guys. If they can't play impartial and just have a good time, then I probably need to find a different group. So we just work with it as it is. There's times where I've got a full table set up, and there's times where I don't do anything.
Yeah. That's funny because
I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say that's funny because I go in and out too. Where I come from the school of theater of the mind, type of, and so I really focus on that. Or then I'll have games where, like I said earlier, I'll put it on the table and set up a camera and all that stuff, and it's just kind of what it fits, what fits for the encounter or the scenario or whatever. But I like that. That's
you can
cool.
get those big maps printed on vinyl too. And then, of course, if somebody spills a soda, you really don't care. But all of the like the Vista prints and whatnot, even FedEx, it's amazing how much they don't charge for like a 3 foot by 48-inch or even bigger table map.
Yeah,
they print at 300 DPI these days, man.
Yeah. When I go to Staples and I print those blueprints, they're so cheap. I mean, this one cost me like $18 because I had to buy 2 of them, but you're talking $9 for a full sheet.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean that's very inexpensive.
Vinyl's about 3 times that price out here.
Yeah.
I wanted to. Yeah, exactly. I was just going to lean into that.
So this is actually printed on vinyl from Staples. This whole thing only cost me $20. Now, so I was into Greyhawk for a while. I still like Greyhawk, but I'm not running it right now. But I decided I wanted to make my own map. I never had the box set. I love Darlene's map. I used Anna Meyer's maps for a while. I like them, but there's a lot to them. So I wanted something very simple. So I decided to make my own recreation of Darlene's map with modern tools and all digital. And this thing printed on vinyl, no wrinkle, nice and easy. Yep. Indoor vinyl from Staples cost me $20.
Yeah.
How can you beat that?
Do you mentioned earlier you have the PDF of that or something like that, or
so on
for sale on Drive-Thru
RPG once they opened up DM's Guild to Greyhawk, I ended up listing it on there, and I actually did. You can get it in this format. You can get it with the new names for the 5th edition stuff because they changed some of the names. So I actually changed. Somebody asked me about it. I know this has got the old stuff, but I went and added the new names in case somebody wanted that
to comply with. I get it.
Yeah. And I also include the version without the hexes and a version without the names. If you want a blank one to add your own stuff, so it costs $1.99 and you get all 4 versions of it.
Good.
It's like 27,000 pixels. You can print it as large as you want.
Yeah, maybe I'll go on there and check that out because I've got a couple of the Greyhawk maps printed out large, and I like that. I think that'd be pretty cool to hang up or use. Yeah.
Awesome. Like I was telling you earlier, I had seen on DJ David Johnson. He's got his YouTube channel and stuff. And he shows off his game room with his table and all this stuff. Yeah. And you go down the hallway and he's got maps hanging there. And there was a huge version of that sitting there. So when I saw him at Page, I said, "Hey, I saw your video. I saw your Greyhawk map." He goes, "Oh yeah, that thing's great. I had it printed out." I go, "I made that one."
Yeah.
I had never met him before. He didn't even know. And at the time when I first made it, I just released it for free. I'm sure you could still find it out there on some sites, but when they opened it up, I just put it on there for $1.99 and promoted it that way. And
I'll get with you on that after this or something. But
yeah,
that's funny you say that story because I had one too. It's actually in my other room, but it was just kind of a reprint of the Darlene map. Just kind of somebody's on here too that knows who actually created it. But I had it in the background, and so he's like, "Hey, but I did that."
Yeah,
like
I've seen this.
Mine printed it for me.
I have a copy of that. I see somebody did a really, really amazing
recreation of it.
They did but they didn't like mine. I recreated the whole thing. It was all hand done.
All scratch.
They took the old one in Photoshop and really cleaned it all up, edited it, put it all together. And they did an amazing job on it.
I forgot who it was too, but they literally during a live stream or something, a comment and he says, "I did that," and I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome, dude." Yeah, it's really a buddy of mine, Eric Coe, rest in peace. He was the one that printed it out for me and sent it to me, laminated, and it's super cool. I just got to figure out how I can hang it because I'm like curious that I don't like putting tacks in things. And
Angelo, here's what you do, okay?
Okay.
You pull it in on Photoshop, you extend the borders of it 3 inches on each side, and you have them put grommets in on the vinyl, and then you just hang it from the grommets.
Mm.
And you know what they charge extra to put those grommets in? Like 50 cents.
Yeah, is it Mike's Greyhawk map? Yeah, that's so wow. God, we've been babbling for almost 2 hours. Holy crap!
Yeah,
it's been really cool, dude. This has been so much fun. I'm glad that you got on here, showcase some of your stuff. I dig what you do, dude. I dig.
Chase the dream, man. Chase that dream.
I appreciate it.
I really do. I dig it. And finding out that you're a 2E guy, I'm actually would love to have you back on talking and tooting your horn about 2E because I'm not a 2E fan, but
it's
not much difference really from 1E 2E.
Yeah,
there really is.
I mean, I don't know if you could see there's my 1E stuff.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
And it's it was just that we ran 1E forever, and it was for the longest time it was really a mix of both because it was what we had available.
Yeah.
So we were big into Dragonlance initially. Didn't have any box sets or anything. We had the Orange Spine Dragonlance Adventures book, and that was it. We just kind of made up our own stuff and went.
Yeah, that's how we did it. Yeah, I think one thing that came out of that 2E era was all the settings. I think one of my second favorite setting is Ravenloft, and that I think was done really beautifully.
That is my favorite setting. I've got 3 box sets and just tons and tons of supplements and modules.
Yeah, some good material.
Ravenloft and Dark Sun are probably my 2 favorite settings that came
You're
out
a Dark
of it.
Sun guy too. Wow.
Yep. I actually just ordered Shadow Sun, which is a Shadow Dark version of Dark Sun made by Chubby Funster. And I just got the notification today that the print copy just shipped.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to get that book and check it out. I mean, obviously, it's his own version of it. It's going to be a little different, but, you know.
Good night, Roger.
Yeah, good night, Roger. Make sure you get your thanks for coming on, by the way, man.
Yeah.
Beauty sleep. We all understand.
Yeah, Roger streams on Tuesday nights. I'll be on his show tomorrow where we talk about dungeon delving.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
All right.
And
Thanks
that's
again,
Diversity
Roger.
and Dragons, or
What's that?
Diversity and Dragons, or
No, that's I think his channel is called DM Rogers Neighborhood.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Something like that. Yeah.
Go ahead.
He does a stream every Tuesday night. He's been getting guys on there. We did Shadow Dark one week, and I was on there, and he was talking. Troy Ellman came on. I don't know if you met Troy at Page. He had Cannibal Publishing. They had their own area where they were running games. And he had a whole table set up with stuff. He's going to be running a Kickstarter soon. He's got a whole
Troll Lords. Yes.
Yes, right down from Troll Lords.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, I remember seeing that. Yeah.
Yep. So he'll be running his stuff at Concoction. In fact, he was just telling me the other day. He was asking me to make him some minis underwater because his whole setting is underwater.
Cool.
And he's basically doing a Circus Maximus style race that takes place underwater with all kinds of aquatic creatures and stuff.
Wow.
So he's got rules for that, and he's going to be showing that off at Concoction. And
you're gonna be printing those out?
Yes, he gave me a list of what he needs. I got to sit down and look at it and figure out the scale. Yeah. We originally talked about 10 millimeters until I realized how small 10 millimeter minis would be.
That's really small.
Yeah.
And you're not talking about the scale because it's underwater and fish have those.
It's the scale because of how big the track is for it's going to be.
Not the fish scale. I got you.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I do dad jokes most of the time. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah. Well, we better wrap this up. I do want to give a couple shout outs here to some stuff and some things. Next week, this time, speaking of maps, I have Ann Meyer coming on the show. I'm going to be talking some Greyhawk and talking about some of the new projects she's doing, her Patreon, and just diving into some of the Greyhawk maps she does. I think her work is amazing.
It is.
We have Ann Meyer, who I first just met at Page for the first time. I've been talking to her for years, and
so I can beg her to pick my overland map. Yeah,
it's kind of cool to put a handshake to the text all the time. But she's going to be on next week, and then the following week we have Zane. I'm going to mess his name up. Zane and Bunny Daniels from who are getting ready to do a Kickstarter. That's a Shadow Dark Kickstarter. I'm going to bring up the QR code here for that. I'm actually she's had sent me some stuff for that, and supposed to be reading that and giving her some feedback and some comments and stuff like that. But anyways, this is scan this, guys, to go to the backer kit for that. We're going to have them on in 2 weeks to talk about, I'm going to mess it up. And she even sent me the pronunciation. I think it's Druskara, which is the world that they're creating. But our show is going to be part of the launch party, which is going to be pretty fun. Really good people. I met them at Page too. And then the following week I got, Pat Kilbane will be joining us, and he's going to be talking about the documentary he did, Dreams in Gary's Basement, and the new project he has right now, which is RPGhistory.net, which is I'm looking forward to hearing more about that. Pat's a great dude. I used to game with him back in the day and before he was doing the documentary, but really good guy. And a couple other people that I'm kind of figuring out. Yeah. So, and then this Thursday, guys, we got a little discussion group, and I'll announce who they are in the next couple of days, and the subject. So Thursday we'll be doing that. And I also want to give a shout out to the guys from Tales from the Tape Deck. I think that is now live, or it's going live. But anyways, here's the QR code for that. The guys were on a couple weeks back. They were at Page and had a booth. Really cool. Supposed to do a demo with them too. I got to get back with the dudes.
Yes,
because we're supposed to do a live demo for the game, which is very interesting and having to do with soundtracks.
Totally new take, yes.
Yeah, very, very cool. And also want to bring up for Chris's Kickstarter that's happening in April 5th. This is Castle Wolf Moon Kickstarter, which and that code, guys, that's going to be big news in April 5th, right? April 5th. Yeah.
The last thing Gary and I worked on together.
Yeah, so we got that coming up too, and I always want to give EggCon a shout out. EggCon, Heidi and Eric, and they have taken the huge plunge to ask me to be a special guest there, which I am blown away, and I cannot believe it. I'm going to have so much fun. I've submitted some of my events already, which is going to be the best event ever ran.
It is a fantastically good time. I'm not sure that it would be if I had to drive 19 hours to get there, but
yeah. And pretty soon I'll be plugging North Texas. I want to get Gary on here and talk about North Texas with him.
Yes.
We'll get him on here. And Heidi and Eric have agreed to come on the show in a little bit. And I gotta figure out when, because
they're back. They're back from Hawaii as of last week, so no.
They
problem.
are. Yeah, I got to get them. But yeah, so that's my shameless plugs for the world right now. Yeah, Michael,
yes,
Saxton. I reserve since you have been on the show, I reserve the right to call you at 2 a.m. at any time.
Sure.
Bring you back on for some of our discussion groups or anything like that. So,
I would love to come back on. I will tell you, it has nothing to do with me being retired. It just has to do with I'm one of those people that my phone sits on my desk downstairs in the computer room when I'm at home. So when I go to bed, there's nobody getting a hold of me. My wife has her phone, so if there's an emergency with my daughter at school, they can get a hold of her. But I'm on my phone enough during the day. I leave it at nighttime. It stays downstairs. So you could try at 2 a.m., but you probably won't get me.
Yeah. No, I was just joking about that.
I'd love
to have you back on. We got a lot of things to talk about. So yeah. Well, any parting words, guys? This has been a lot of fun, and like I said, I appreciate you coming on. It was really cool.
Mike, keep doing what you do, man. It is awesome. Awesome work.
Thank you. I wanted to address what Troy said there. He says that was a secret. What I was talking about his game. It can't be too much of a secret because he posted it on his Cannibal Publishing website with some info about it. So I didn't think it was too much of a secret since the rest of the world could see it.
Yeah.
Not a secret anymore. Oh, sorry.
Here, let me do some cool background stuff because this wouldn't work. There we go. There.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Marvelous. Okay. I'm so glad you paid extra for that. Yeah.
I didn't pay anything for that.
Okay.
Yeah, and thank you guys all for coming on. Those of you guys that are still on right now, if you wouldn't mind, and if you want to see more of this, please subscribe. You know, we're here every Monday and Thursday, and then also through the week, I'm releasing videos. I have a Greyhawk video that's dedicated to the world of Greyhawk. I'm doing a foundation series on Wednesday. How to Be a Better DM comes out on Friday. I'm continuing my series on the Dungeon Master NPC classes that come out on Saturdays, and then a collaboration video I do on Mondays with Eric Tenkar. So, of Tenkar's Tavern. Most of you guys know who that is. So we're doing a lot over here. But anyways, that's my plugs. Mike, thanks so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. We're going to close out, you guys. Everybody take care of yourselves. Keep rolling those dice. Keep gaming. Love you all.
Aw,
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
bye.
Bye.